Going live, going live. I'm waiting for Restream to tell me that we are up on all channels before I get going, and it is taking forever. Looks like I don't know if we got internet connectivity issues or what, but bear with me. Bear with me if you see me live. All right. It's reporting that my stream is fair and not doing great, but it says we're streaming, so I'm going to get moving. Peace and good evening. Usually it's a good morning, but it's good evening today. I had to do evening today because it's one of those days, man. Got some really sad, disturbing news this morning, and that really concerned me and hurt my heart a bit. Hurting for some people and for a friend who's hurting right now. So that kind of put a damper on. Plus, I had a really bad headache this morning, so I gave myself permission to go late, but I'm putting my best effort forth to stay consistent and to show up every day here so I can get the practice in and master this technology that I'm working with. If you don't know, I'm working with OBS, streaming to Restream.io, which is broadcasting me to 8 locations. I'm broadcasting to 3 Facebook locations, 2 YouTube locations, 2 Twitter locations, and now LinkedIn. The reason I am broadcasting to LinkedIn, to some of these channels, the GRYSKLL channel specifically, is, pardon me, I think it's important to get some content going on those channels, one, but also I am GRYSKLL just like the rest of the crew, and I want to make sure that the family knows what's going on with the members of GRYSKLL. So as I have things to report with the members, I think I'll make sure I include and incorporate those here. And as always, I'll always welcome the members on here too. But I think when I broadcast normally, it's way too early for anybody to jump on, which is completely understandable. Reminder, I'm not streaming to Instagram anymore because I think Yellow Duck was putting my account at risk. I don't want to take a chance on losing that. But let's get on to what I wanted to get into today. As you guys may also know, my goal is to stay under 10 minutes with these, so let's see how well I did. I know I missed that goal yesterday and I went 15 minutes, and I guess whenever I go beyond 10 or 15 minutes, I probably won't be uploading the content to Instagram or TikTok. When I go 10 minutes or less, there's a good chance I will, but as you see, I'm not doing the vertical format anymore since I'm not broadcasting to Instagram anymore. That was the only reason I did the vertical, was so that it would look right on Instagram Live. And since I'm going everywhere else, I can go ahead and go with this landscape layout moving forward. All right, so today, what are we getting into? Well, let's start with the tip of the day. If you want it, work for it. Things don't happen if you don't make them happen, man. I've learned that from experience in the past. I've tried some other techniques and just seeing what happens, and it doesn't feel good trying things any other way than to put your effort in. What I was missing before was balance and making sure I got proper rest and with proper self-care in there. But still, I won't say the grind because I feel like there's a negative connotation with hustle and grind, and people forget about self-care with those things. But I'm putting in work. And I'm enjoying the work that I'm putting in. So something special about today. Today, along with napping and just taking it as a down day, a Saturday, which feels good. I usually don't allow myself to do that, and I'll talk about why I haven't felt good doing that lately when I talk about the crowd fund coming up. It'll probably be this week when I finally debrief and talk about the crowd fund a little bit. But today, in my resting period and everything, once my headache calmed down a little bit, I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special on Disney Plus, and I must say that as of right now, I did my rankings for the Marvel Phase 10 or Phase 4 Disney Plus shows. There were 10 shows that came out in Phase 4 of Marvel, and I'm going to give you my opinion on where that one is ranked in a minute. I'm going to give you all 10 of mine in a list so you can see. But before that, I noticed something about this holiday special on at least my Twitter feed. It looks like many of the Marvel TV shows from Phase One are trending, and I can imagine why. This kicked it off. There are now 10 shows. Everybody's like, oh, yo, all right, so what were the best? Everybody ranked their 10. And I saw She-Hulk was trending, Moon Knight was trending. It was interesting. Something else I noticed, though, was that Solana is trending, and so was BitBoy Crypto, at least on my feed. I don't think they're, in the tens of thousands of tweets, but they're on my feed, since my feed is curated to primarily crypto and blurred stuff, Web3 and blurred stuff. These came across. So Solana and BitBoy Crypto. BitBoy Crypto is apparently predicting Solana's downfall. I don't know how the Web3 community feels about BitBoy. That's why I first started learning about crypto on YouTube, and I'm not going to give my opinion or my assessment of that because I need to take some time to think about it. I just soak this in, and I don't want to be irresponsible with giving my thoughts and opinions on anything. But I did post a tweet soliciting some opinions and feelings from the community in case there's some information I was unaware of, or in case it helps remind me, because I haven't thought about BitBoy in a long time. He's also doing some stuff that I kind of feel is a little sensational right now. For example, I see he's posting a lot showing that he's hunting Sam Bankman-Fried. The Look up the name, you'll learn about him in the crypto space. I don't want to report on this because I'm not well versed enough to be able to give just facts, and I don't want to be contributing to any of the FUD. But I'm curious about how the Web3 community feels about BitBoy Crypto, and I'm wondering about how they feel about Solana right now. Is Solana on the rocks? I mean, I know everybody's spreading a whole bunch of FUD about everything after FTX, but I'm curious. But I'll move on. Yesterday, if you shop, no hard feelings. Um, Black Friday. I'm sure some people enjoyed it. If you don't know me, I'm completely against Black Friday, especially for my people, because I feel like we're taken advantage of financially in many cases, and we keep falling into this trap of feeding these corporations, and companies that don't care about us, and actually, in many cases, work against us and our communities. So that's why I don't like Black Friday, along with the fact that I don't like crowds. um, but yesterday also, I had some really, really dope meetings, some really dope sessions yesterday. The first one was with the team on the Not a Project, kind of like GRYSKLL is not a podcast. We call this Not a Project. It's the project that I'm working on that I'm not working on. And the team and I met yesterday, and we had a really solid, we've had three solid meetings this week. This one was really solid. This one was, yeah, we made a lot of headway, and I'm excited for the next meeting coming up on Monday. Uh, we're gonna do three meetings a week to make sure we maintain momentum and the activity we have scheduled for Monday for this project that it's not a project that we're not working on, that we're working on is going to be dope. I also had a meeting with Blankets to the Streets and Full Plate NFT. I was excited about this one. Two social impact or social good causes. One that's taking place IRL, and in some cases on the web, gathering donations from the web, led by Veda. She's a dope ass artist for one, but she's also doing something really good for the people, for the community, and I appreciate her for that. And I think her lessons and what she's learned could help support Full Plate NFT, and I think Full Plate NFT's cause can also help support adding Web3 or Full Plate NFT and my man X. They could help add some Web3 layers to what Blankets to the Streets is doing. So I think there's a chance for a beautiful collaboration going on there. There are already the conversation led to some action already. I think that's going to be happening this week, and I can't wait for our next conversations. So big thanks to Veda and X for coming together yesterday and just having a really inspiring conversation that's really motivating. It's really helping me get a better idea of what I want to do with my time moving forward. A lot of my time, I think I'm very close to um, creating a service that I'll offer through my website, and that I'll be advertising. Uh, Did a lot of note taking on it this morning. Got a lot of ideas. Still looking for whether I like the name or not. I created a bunch of variations for the name of the service and the title. It's basically around the concept of creative or creativity wellness coaching. Because one thing I do is bring people together, um, and identify genius, spot genius, and especially when genius is being unrecognized and not being utilized in a way that I think can benefit the world around the genius or the person who is the genius themselves. So I'm really trying to inspire, encourage, and motivate people to use their genius in new and different ways. And where I see there are connections that could possibly be made, I'm going to put every effort in because I wish there was somebody doing these things for me. And that's what we do at HFR is we try to provide resources to people who need some of the same resources that we've needed at different points of time. And at times we've needed and wanted a lot of help. We didn't have it available. So that's why we, Yanni and I, through HFR, are trying to do what we're trying to do. But we know we need to get funded now in order to do it. And we're busting our butts to generate income and maybe do some fundraising afterward too. But we're going to look to generate income, get grant money, and a few other things. There'll be more and more on that coming up in the near future. Um, a reminder, mental maintenance comes up tomorrow. Tomorrow we're talking about autism, ADHD, and unmasking. That topic is very important to me at this stage right now. I'm really, really curious about whether any of these things apply to me or whether they apply to anybody that I may know. But primarily me, I know people who have come to understand autism, ADHD, especially adult diagnosed autism and ADHD, have found keys to really making themselves happier and healthier and more effective in life. And I'm wondering if they're, if any of these, um, I guess what they call neurodivergent um, things, for lack of a better word, right in my mind right now, are applicable to me, and if they can help me get better at what I do and what I want to do. So excited. Mental maintenance tomorrow afternoon. Follow at NFT Voices on Twitter and watch for the space that'll kick off at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What else? NFT Backstories is changing its name. I don't know if I'm going to say the name today. No, I'm not going to say the name today, but you can probably guess it. Maybe I've said it before, but the name is changing, and I sent the request to schedule episode 2 for this week. Hopefully, I'll get a green light, and we will be broadcasting live for NFT Backstories, renamed to what it's going to be. Episode 2, episode 1 is a pilot that you can find on houseoffluidreflections.com. You can find that episode there. It's based on our founder Yanni's Genesis NFT collection, No Man's Land. Check it out. Her collection is a one-on-one collection, and as we build community, that collection is going to build in value. Ethereum is down, so the prices are down. If you want to grab it, now would be your best time. Especially if you're buying with USDC or with dollars, cash, what they also call fiat currency. So that's NFT Backstories. No more progress on Broken Arrows. Haven't worked on that yet. No more working on the GRYSKLL episode that I was working on featuring Configure. Looking forward to that though. But speaking of Configure, I guess 6 degrees of separation. I wanted to make sure I congratulate S, one of GRYSKLL's early guests. He's actually he may be the first person to be on twice, to have an episode and then to come back for a follow-up episode. S got a shout out from Chuck D. Chuck D named one of his songs, and I believe his album, as his favorite of 2022. He had a typo in the Twitter post that said 2023, but it was his favorite of 2022. So that's really dope. The 6 degrees of separation is Configure was actually, I believe, signed to Chuck D's label at some point, and you'll see and learn about that when we published this episode. Configure was also, in case you didn't know, he was the producer for the most recent Arrested Development album. If you remember Arrested Development from the 90s, Everyday People, and I forget what other songs are off the top of my head, but it's really just dope to see the connections that we're building, and to see that all these people who are involved in some of these really, really special, important projects that are getting attention in the hip hop community. So that it inspires me, because if we're connected to these, it means we're getting closer to at least having the people that I care about in the hip hop community hearing and being aware of what we do. I don't care about fame, not looking for fame, but I've always wanted to be able to share some of my favorite things with some of my heroes, like DJ Premier, Dr. Dre. I'd love to be for them to hear some of my production one day. That to me, that's a win. The money and chasing bread is not something that's in the plans. It's not in the forecast as priorities, but they are definitely things that we'll look to do to offset production costs and to see if there's a way outside of music, maybe by using the music as kind of a fishing line, if maybe there are ways for us to generate money in other ways because of what we do creatively, especially because what we do as GRYSKLL is promote mental wellness within the hip hop community and in marginalized communities. And we have an initiative that we want to do for kids to support the kids out there called GRYSKLL. So we'll talk about that in more depth later because I want to try and stay close to this 10-minute mark goal. I'm gonna see how close I am. Oh, I failed that 3 seconds ago, or 5 minutes, 3 seconds ago. I'm at 15 minutes, so I'm gonna rush through these Disney Plus rankings real quick and get up out of here. Anything else I have to say, it'll be tomorrow. So, my Disney Plus Phase 4 rankings. What's funny is the sleeper is the one that became my number one. Werewolf by Night was my favorite thing from Marvel in Phase 4 on Disney Plus, man. That watch the series. I'm not gonna go into details. I'm just gonna list them by name, and then maybe we'll talk about them later. Werewolf by Night, number one. Number two, Loki. It's my dude, man. I love that character, and I love what they did for the series. I didn't expect to like it, and I loved it, loved it, loved it. Next was WandaVision. Slow start for me. It was interesting still, but it was still kind of slow, and maybe that's if I do a rewatch, maybe I'll understand why. Maybe I'll appreciate the slow start more. But that put WandaVision in slot number three. It probably would have been in slot two had it not been for how I felt about the start of the season. Moon Knight is number four, and it was hard between these three to figure out which one was going to be second because I thought Moon Knight was really really dope. Critical feedback on it was, I think, the fact that they had to kind of G-rated or soften it for Disney Plus. Moon Knight is, I mean, essentially a psychopath in the comics, kind of like Batman's a psychopath for DC Comics. I feel like Moon Knight, like for example, one of the ways they softened it is the bathroom scene with the I forget what you call the things, the little dog face man things that he had to fight. They didn't show that fight scene. They cut the fight scene, and apparently that fight scene was epic, the way they edited it, but they watered it down for Disney Plus, so points knocked off for that. She-Hulk comes after that as my number five, and part of the reason it became my number five, well, we'll talk reasons later. Like I said, I want to get out of here, but I got reasons. Ms. Marvel comes after She-Hulk. Again, I got reasons. Falcon and Winter Soldier is what, I guess that's number seven, maybe. I'm having trouble keeping track of what's what. But Falcon and Winter Soldier comes next. Then What If? Then Hawkeye is second to last, with the Guardians of the Galaxy special that dropped yesterday coming in at number 10 as the one I liked the least out of all of them. Although it had some parts in there I enjoyed, it was definitely the least entertaining thing from Marvel on Disney Plus to me. In Phase 4, or period, I guess, because this is when they started the Disney Plus shows was for Phase 4. So that's my opinions. I'm trying to be out of here. It is now at 17 minutes and 55 seconds. I've been here way too long. Hope you had a good Saturday. Hope you're gonna enjoy your Saturday night. Have a good Sunday, and I will talk to you tomorrow because consistency is the key right now. Peace, love, and whatever else you want to